Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show with Mike. T-Roy is here. Big Easus in the house. How are you, T?
I'm all right.
Just all right?
It's been a day.
What are you dealing with now? Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Oh, it's always something.
We're getting a late start, so let's get this son of a bitch in the books.
Yeah.
Explain to me what's going on.
Yeah, well, I had a car issue today.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Crash?
Yeah. No. It I believe it to be some negligence from the mechanic that just fixed it.
Ah, yeah.
I had some work done on the
Wonderful.
front right end.
Does the mechanic know that he's got an issue now?
He definitely does.
Okay.
I was fortunate enough to call said mechanic when I was getting this thing towed, and fortunately he answered the phone.
Oh.
Which made
Would
it
you
very
say it was a
easy for
riot
me.
act?
I gave him in his defense, I mean, clearly he fucked something up here.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what it is yet, but I'm pretty sure the wheel's not supposed to cave in like that. But he was very understanding and accepting, and is being towed to him. And again, this is a whole nother thing because there's a whole tow issue. So I'm just going to breathe and we're going to do the show.
Namaste,
And,
my
yeah.
friend.
So
Namaste.
tomorrow is another day.
Find your central point and meditate. Easus, you can
Bruce
teach him how to.
Right, yeah.
You can teach him how to meditate.
sure.
You've been doing that for a while now. How are you, Easus?
Great. I meditate
back.
every day now, Michael, by the way.
Do you
Or whatever.
really?
Yeah.
Do you go on the front lawn still and go home?
I don't I do two kinds of meditation. One is just the 10 to 15 minutes where you just close your eyes and sit Indian style, cross
whoa.
applesauce
Jesus
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then I do the other where I listen to upwards of an hour of guided meditation on YouTube.
Oh,
So-
nice. Do you feel like you're getting anything out of it?
I definitely do. Yeah,
You
I
feel
would
more centered?
I would say, you know what I would say, where you can make an obvious, where I could point out a very obvious, like, this is something that happened and this is something post doing meditation. Like when I did the first part of my trip before I broke my shoulder, I had at least, I believe, 2 to 3 like anxiety attacks, kind of panic attacks of just how much was going on or whatever. And the last time I had none, and I would say that it was actually a busier schedule than the first time, and I believe that's from meditation for
Yeah.
sure.
Not from experience.
That too, but I do. I think I get a real when I do a guided meditation. I full on. I get into like I'll fall asleep. I get so relaxed, and I'm not necessarily planning on that. I'll just lay down and
Do you have to start over if you fall asleep?
no.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
just doing whatever you do.
Yeah.
All right.
Do whatever you do.
I wake up at some point, and sometimes I make it through the whole like 45 minutes, hour, depends on what I'm listening to. Sometimes all of a sudden I just like my eyes kind of open up, and it's because the sounds are gone after a while.
When I was going through oxy withdrawals a decade ago, I remember.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
Good job,
maybe
Mike.
like 9 years ago, actually. But either way, it was late 2013, early 14, something like that. And I remember laying in bed and just crawling out of my skin. I'm just fucking dying. And Beth she'd be like, "What's wrong?" And I'd be up and I'd be like, fuck. I'd want to punch a hole in everything around me.
Right.
And she'd be like, "Okay, stop, lay down, just breathe in and out slowly.
Yeah.
Slow as you can, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Fuck you and your breathing. This isn't going to work." Next thing I know, I'm asleep.
It's wild, dude.
It definitely, not that it helped a ton, but it definitely was something noticeable, like taking your body and just trying to release and, all that kind of stuff. There's
Another
something
thing
to
I
that.
did that was crazy because I've always been a massive overthinker, and that comes from most likely a lot of anxiety, but whatever. But I overthink things to a max. And I started listening to some podcasts about that, like how to get better at overthinking. And it was funny because one thing they started to do is like, I realized how much, and I know we all probably do this, but like, they're like, dude, if you're doing something, like now I'm doing the podcast, it's fine. But if you're going on a walk and I just be, checking my phone or thinking about, 10 other things instead of just going on the walk and enjoying like being on the walk and like, and it's like, I started doing it, like trying to do 10, 15 minutes where I didn't just think to, what did I do yesterday? No, dude, just kind of do something and be in that moment.
Yeah.
And it was fucking hard. Like I was walking
very
around
hard,
the
'cause
neighborhood.
you could overthink even that.
No, you're right. And I'd be walking around the neighborhood like, and my mind would start to go like, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it.
Troy and I were driving back. We had dropped said truck off
Yeah.
yesterday, and we were driving back, and we get to a certain point on 13 Mile coming up towards Franklin Road, and Troy goes, man, I love this stretch of road in the fall. You know, like the trees are all
full
over.
It is.
canopy
Are you talking about right
over-
here?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Perfect, right?
It's amazing.
The trees all overhang the road. It's like going
Yeah.
through a tunnel.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it's just like red and orange and yellow and brown, like all the fall colors in bloom, full bloom. And I'm in my phone at the time, and I just look up, and I'm just like, whoa, I have to do a double take. And I'm like, that is stunning. I've lived here for a decade plus.
Yeah.
And I realize there's so many things that I just don't stop and smell the roses.
Right.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I drive down this road every fucking day, and you just take it for granted. You don't realize
Yeah.
what you're living in. And it's like, yeah, this is remarkable. This really is gorgeous.
I don't want to get too much into this, but the one podcast I was listening to, the way he worded it that I thought was really good is like if you have a dog, and you would if you train a dog to be able to kind of be by you and stick with you if another human's coming, like heal whatever, stick by me. And he was like, your mind is like that. Like your mind, if you let it, it will just fucking go. But you can train it to be like, nope. Let's enjoy the leaves out, or let's just be on the walk or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm still not there, but I'm trying, and it's fucking hard. Like I have to say to myself, no, just fucking do this right now. Just do this. Don't
Dude,
keep checking your phone.
It reminds me of reading books. Like
Yeah.
I'd be like, especially in school, where I'd read a paragraph and I'd be like, I'm going to focus on reading this paragraph. And by the 10th time I'm rereading it,
Right.
going, no, this time for real. And I find myself, I'm reading it.
But you're not
word
reading
for
it
word,
really.
But I'm in my head, I'm going, just stay focused on the paragraph, just stay focused on the paragraph, just stay focused on the paragraph. And the whole time you're reading it, that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, you're
Instead
not
of just
processing
you're not
anything.
processing. It's like, I can't do this. And
It's
that's
crazy.
my scholastic entity right there. Like that's what I went through. It was like trying to get through a simple chapter, and it was like I couldn't get off the first page.
Right.
Because I was overthinking and just constantly playing this game in my head. It sucked.
Sounds like ADD.
I probably got
Maybe
that too.
back then
Sure.
it wasn't diagnosable.
Oh,
I'm
got that
an old
too,
man
yeah.
now, so back then they were just like, "Shut up and pay attention harder."
Yeah.
And you're like,
Right,
"Okay."
right. Do better.
Exactly.
Do better.
I love saying do better for almost anything. I don't know what we were talking about earlier today, but you were saying you're talking about your daughter
I was
doing
gonna
comedy and
boo
stuff.
her on stage.
Yeah,
I'm
do
gonna
better.
Yell "do better" from the crowd when she's on stage.
The great thing about do better is just because there's nothing. It's not offering
It's very
anything.
Homer Simpson-esque.
Well, and
it's
it's not-
something Homer would just do better. He would yell out.
And it's not offering anything. You're just saying. You're not giving suggestions. You're not saying how.
It's
you're
not
just,
critical of
No,
at
it's just
any
like,
level.
just do better
Do better
than this.
I'll decide if it's good enough.
Right.
I'll decide if you've actually done better.
Right.
I'm the only one.
Not giving any notes on how to do better. It's just
We'll get to what an amazing night for debates last night. I don't know how many people get into this, but Troy and I watched a couple last night. Great. And we'll give you some examples of that and much more going on in the world. I did want to mention radiofor1.com. I failed to mention it yesterday, which gets me in trouble with behind the scenes people like crazy. You can buy merch, t-shirts, tank tops, sweatshirts. I'm hoping some people have gotten their members only merch.
Yeah, they should
because,
should be arriving any day, if not already.
We have seen ours. So if you haven't gotten it yet, you should be getting it any moment now. I'm hoping some of you have gotten it, and hopefully you'll post some pictures with it. I hope people like it. But you can buy merch there, too, at radiofor1.com. T-shirts, tank tops, sweatshirts. More coming soon, I promise. We are on that. Amazon link, Amazon Canada. MyPillow. Use promo code TDC. You get anything from Giza sheets to the slides to the My Slippers. Go to the mystore.com for their coffee and many other products. Promo code TDC works there as well. You can link to, we've got Groupon there for people that use Groupon. Link to our Patreon page. That's the best way to help us is Patreon. And
Yeah, we have a new member.
yeah,
We do.
do we have a name?
I'm trying. I'm going to see if I remember it from yesterday. We
Okay.
didn't get to it yesterday because you didn't do your read. That's my
I know
cue.
that's
So,
the key to
you
everything is
killed
me
it.
doing the read.
In fact, E
Oh,
what's
boy.
up? I'm refreshing what you had here. So
should be the top one. Female.
oh jeez Louise.
Let's have it.
Okay, so
If it's not Julie Smith, we're in trouble.
I got Karen.
Okay, good job.
boy,
Oh,
Karen.
Oh, we have a Karen.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
boy.
that. I almost thought
better
about
not be
stopping
white.
right there. I mean, do you really want? Do you want to give this money back or? Savine?
I think you nailed it.
Okay.
I would say Savine.
Karen Savine?
Cool. I thought I wouldn't get that right.
Savine?
So, Savine.
Savine.
Savina?
The Barber of Savine.
I don't know what that is, but
Yeah, the Barber of Seville.
Savine?
I don't know. Sorry.
Savini?
I don't know what's going on right now.
Karen, welcome very much. Please do
Thank
not
you,
ask
Karen.
to speak to the manager.
Yes, yes.
There is no
please.
manager.
God, fingers crossed she's not a
Rudderless
white.
shit.
What are the odds she's not a white Karen?
Are there any?
I don't know. Is there such thing as a black Karen?
I mean, theoretically, but I don't know.
I know there's a
any
black
named-
Adam,
Yeah.
but I don't know if there's a black Karen.
I mean, they're
Certainly not listening to us.
No,
That's safe to say.
for sure.
Thank you, Karen, for becoming a member. We love you. We appreciate you. Hopefully, you get something out of the stuff we put up. We'll continue to put more stuff up, and hopefully, you enjoy it. And hopefully, you encourage many people to sign up and join your fellow monsters on the Patreon page. Now, we watched some of the debate, which we could locally, between Stretch and Gretchen and Tudor Dixon last night. And we also watched Dr. Oz and John Fetterwoman. Fetterman. whatever his fucking name is. We'll get to Fetterman and Oz in a moment because that was not televised nationally. We had to go to a local Philadelphia affiliate who was live streaming, and then we threw that up on the screen, and we were able to watch that, which was fucking fantastic.
What is he running for? Is he running for like
Senate.
a national one or like just a state?
Yeah,
Well,
no,
Senate-
Senate.
yeah.
Senate
Okay.
seat in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
To go to D.C.
Gotcha.
Fight for Pennsylvanians
Right,
everywhere.
right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny, man.
But we watched Stretch and Gretchen, who last night, honestly, Gretchen's fine. She doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah, I don't despise her.
I don't either. Like most politicians, I
Right.
really don't. I think she's beautiful, honestly. That probably, if she was an ogre, it'd probably be much harder to take her seriously, as gross as that sounds.
If it was
But I
Beetlejuice,
can't-
it would be a whole different story.
Yeah, if it was Lori Lightfoot, it'd be like, oh, fuck this Beetlejuice ghoul. No. But I will say this as a knock on Stretch and Gretchen. She appears to be getting more politician-y, with hand gestures
Right,
and
right.
inflections, and I'm going to fight hard for Michiganders. You're like, oh, fuck off.
Did
Stop
you say
it.
inflections or deflections?
Well, yeah, either one would
Yeah.
fit.
Yeah,
Did
that
you
was-
watch it, Isis?
I actually did watch that one, believe it or not.
Did you watch the whole thing? Or?
I did.
Attaboy.
It was really
Nice.
fast, man. I would
went
say
pretty-
yeah,
that
it
they
was
got
an
a
hour.
shitload in an hour, though.
So what,
Yeah.
Like, you know
what
what I
was
mean?
your a take on it?
The problem is, the reality is I haven't paid enough attention. That my only thing with her,
when they both call each other liars. you
right,
don't
when
know
they
who to
just
believe.
when they're just both, well, you're a liar. And
You're
it's
a
like,
liar.
Now you can have
No,
30 seconds.
Well,
what
as she just said,
was
proving my
obviously,
point. She's clearly a liar.
It felt like she deflected more than
Tudor Dixon.
Tudor Dixon. With her, all it comes down to me is, unfortunately, and I'm not even a crazy person, I don't think, with COVID, because I treat it seriously than more people I know, but not answering to some of the old person stuff, obviously. Some of that stuff, when you think back to it, like golf courses.
She was actually saying, Stretch and Gretchen was actually saying at times, like, we did more to save
old people's lives,
She
right.
saved more seniors. At one
Yeah.
point.
I would
almost
say-
fell out of my chair laughing.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It's like, there are lawsuits filed against you,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
For how many fucking old people you killed,
You've
New
got
York?
like Cuomo type
Basically,
numbers.
Yeah,
if
she hit Cuomo type numbers.
Right.
Or worse. Some people say worse.
So if you took the killing the old people out of the equation, the problem is she just sounded like, another politician.
Yeah.
And like I said, she says something that you're lying, and it's like, I tend to side with the other person more. So it's like, got her. But then Gretchen goes, but what about you? And you did this. So I'll say Tudor Dixon for one at one point when she talked about the tires. And I get it. But she's like, I've had 5 flat tires.
I
I'm
was like, bullshit.
Have
No, you haven't.
Yes.
I know. I thought the same thing, E.
I said that right to my
thought
dad.
this-
Have you?
A
'Cause-
blown out rim and 5 flat tires.
Bring
It's
your
like, where the
receipts.
hell are
Let's
you
see.
driving?
Dude, I'm driving a fucking shitty Ford Focus down the road. And I haven't had, I think I've had 1 in the last 2 years or whatever it was. Like,
Yeah.
you've had 5
This year?
I don't
I know.
believe it.
I didn't either. I almost screamed at the screen like, all right, I'm going to need to see your fucking, I need to see the receipts from
me see your
whatever.
Bell Tire
Yeah,
bills.
your
Yeah,
Bell Tire bills.
yeah.
'Cause I don't believe you've had 5
And
flat
I think she
And
said-
if you had, that speaks more to you than anyone else.
Right, and if
where
she-
the hell are you driving?
We're all driving on the same roads, and I haven't
Yeah.
had 5.
I don't think she's driving on the roads I'm driving on, and I don't think she has the car that I'm driving.
But I mean-
by the way,
female drivers. Am I
Well,
right?
Am I right?
She's hitting curbs and shit. Doesn't even have to be a
Yeah,
pothole.
speaking of, that's the real problem. I saw 2 women up there. Where's the men?
Yeah,
I don't know
right.
how am I supposed to fucking vote 2 women, my lord.
Gretchen wanted us to
No.
notice, too, those red stockings she was wearing.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, the bullshit pink for, I'm assuming, breast awareness,
Oh, is that what that was? Titty
I thought it
awareness?
was
assume
just
that's what
look
it
at
was
me,
for.
look at me, I thought.
Yeah.
Looked like her teeth were glowing white.
Yeah.
She looks like
She
Rex
looked
Ryan
hot,
on
for
Sunday
sure.
Night
I would say
Football
she
or
looked
something.
hot last night.
Yeah.
Who?
My dad said
Which
My
one?
dad was like, she looks like
Stretch.
she's going to a wedding. That's my
Stretch
dad-
and Gretchen?
Yeah, that's what my
Yeah.
dad said.
What
which I
about
assume-
Tudor?
I thought she looked okay. She looked a little more.
But I think that was intentional.
Yeah.
I think she dressed it down. I think she went
I agree.
very, very subtle.
Well,
Whereas
She
Gretch-
said one other thing. Tudor had one other thing. They both do. But like she had one other thing that she said where I was like, I don't know. I wish I could remember what it was. But the tire thing for sure. I was like, fine, get out of here.
Yeah.
But
the thing that drives me nuts about these debates is when it's like, Stretch and Gretchen, we're going to talk about you liking anal sex in high school. You have 30 seconds.
I know.
And she's like, well, yeah, did I take it in the shitter a lot in high school? I did. And they're like, we've got to move on. We're stressed for time. We got to, it's like, okay, nobody can finish answering a fucking thought. Like in both debates, it's like,
I can appreciate trying to keep it on schedule because if you let them run wild, they will.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But yes, there was
But-
too many times that it was just cut off. Like you never even get to finish your point.
and then it's gone. They're like
Yeah.
even trying to get back to the thought.
No.
It's like, no, it's gone. It's like,
And then,
okay.
you know, the funniest part is giving, we want to know we're not there yet, but giving Fetterwoman 15 seconds to respond. His fucking teleprompter was 15 seconds behind.
Yeah.
By the time he finished reading the goddamn thing, it was like, no.
And they're like,
oh really?
I'm sorry.
Oh, so the guy.
I'm sorry.
reading-
We're going to have to hear from Mr. Oz
Oh,
now.
I don't know if he pulled any of those.
So like
or
the
not,
guy
but
reading the thing is
yeah.
saying like, and you will now have 50, and then by the time
Yeah,
he done it,
and then
like-
so he's sitting there and he's da-da-da, and they're like, yeah, you have 30 seconds. And you go, yeah, okay, well, so we were dying.
I would say that
Mr. Fetterman, would you please?
the other thing about this, I'll just say about them is like what's weird is like to me watching because I haven't watched a lot, and I watched a few of the Donald Trump ones, but I'm not one who's been to watch all of these, but. I know incumbents technically a lot of times more often than not win because people just know their name, I guess, or this or that. But on the same hand, like you watching it, and it feels like if you're not like for Tudor Dixon, you're able then to point like you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you said you were going to do that because it seems like when you're watching it, you're like, hey, yeah, what about that? How she's saying right here that you said this and you didn't.
Yeah.
And so it seems like it almost would be easier for them to be able to point out
that's
wrong
done-
things.
I think that's done on purpose, knowing that the vast majority of people just don't pay that much attention.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, you lied about this. No, I didn't. You did.
Right. And by the time
Okay.
the fax checkers get involved,
Right.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
it
gone.
doesn't matter.
It's
long gone.
yesterday's news.
So it's kind of
It's funny. There's an article today out in the Canadian papers, and they did a stock taking effort, about the Canadian convoy.
yeah.
And because it was like, there's Nazis in here. This is they're trashing places, and while we don't have a ton of evidence of burned buildings, we can't say that they haven't, and they've been destructive. Blah blah, like all this shit, which is why they had to come in so strong and shut down bank accounts and arrest anybody that gave them food and threaten to shut their bank accounts down. So now,
Made him into a terrorist organization.
right, and so you shut that whole thing down. Remember, Prime Minister Blackface shut all that shit down.
Yeah.
Froze all these bank accounts.
Didn't he use some
had
like
people
crazy
arrested.
loophole thing too that hadn't been used in 50 years
Yes,
or something?
yes,
to-
exactly. Now they're taking stock and they're going through, and they're starting to do this with COVID on our end now. And now they've come out and said, we may have got that wrong. They were peaceful. There were no incidents of violence. We could find no evidence of anybody burning anything
Right.
or trashing a neighborhood or shitting on anything. By all accounts, it was 100% peaceful. Thank you for your time. Bye. And it's like, yeah, I know. We told you that in real time.
Yeah.
In real fucking time, we told you that, you cunts. What are you talking about?
It's like a back page retraction.
right.
It's fine.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Retraction
but-
on page 30.
Exactly.
Awesome.
It doesn't matter. Fine. You can do it. You said it, but it doesn't change. And the biggest problem with it is that they fucking knew it
Yeah.
at the time, that it's malicious.
They
It's
have
done
to know it.
intentionally. It's one thing if it's done in erroneously, and then you make up for it, but you don't
really make up
really broadcast.
You know,
yeah, we messed that up. Sorry about that, but
yeah.
That this is absolutely intentional.
And there's no problem with making mistakes.
Of course.
As humans, we all make mistakes. As bosses, you make mistakes that you you might feel bad about later with your employees, the way you handled something. Across the board, we all make mistakes. But when in real time we could fact check the COVID vaccine mandates, or in real time we could take on the trucker convoy and go, okay, you're going to have to bring way more evidence to what you're reporting globally about what's going on, because we're watching the video, and believe me, if you can find a single incidence of somebody lighting a building on fire, you'd be showing that across global newspapers.
Exactly.
And
this day and age, when everything is recorded.
Right.
Everything is recorded. It would be very easy to have all the receipts you would need to justify these claims.
Which makes you wonder how many times they've taken a smidgen of evidence and blasted that into, like, this speaks for the whole thing. And don't give me Black Lives Matter. Like, oh, you always shit on Black Lives Matter. 570 plus riots in a 3-month span. So I don't want to hear it. There were plenty of fucking receipts for that bullshit.
Yep.
We're seeing the fallout and the damage from that. That terrorist organization. Watch the documentaries. Expand your mind a little bit. Do yourself a favor. You'll be glad you did. You won't feel like a fool in a couple years when the mainstream media gets around to reporting what nonsense this all was. Yep. That's the reality.
They'll find some way to justify it.
Yeah, well, good luck. Good luck with that. People aren't stupid. People aren't stupid. And while they may be a little stupid, the vast majority of them just aren't paying attention on a daily basis to all of this stuff. And so it needs to really come full circle for them to go, oh, shit, I guess I was wrong about Russia collusion. I guess I was wrong about Hunter Biden's laptop. I guess I was wrong about the Canadian trucker convoy. I guess I was wrong about the mandates with COVID, right? Now, the reason we watched Tudor Dixon and Gretchen Whitmer, besides the fact that they're both pretty hot, obviously, is because it relates to Michigan. And so that means something to us. And so I'm interested when Charlie LaDuff interviews Tudor Dixon. I want to see that. The fact that they give them 30 seconds to respond when it's like you can't even get your train of thought going in 30 seconds. Like, that's why I wanted to have Tudor Dixon on, and I gladly, openly welcome Gretchen Whitmer on. We'll talk to her as well. Yeah. Love to. We're actually going to a Republican thing tomorrow to meet some of Dixon's people.
Oh, what a shock.
Yeah, well, dude, I'll gladly go to one for the left to meet Gretchen Whitmer. I've said it 100 times. I don't know how many times I can say it.
We were invited.
We were invited to this, and we were told we could be introduced to her running mate and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, fuck it. It's not something I would normally go to, but I'm going to go because I think I'm interested in Tudor Dixon. I think she's fascinating. Yep. I don't know much about her. You don't know much about her. We're interested in hearing more. And hold on. Yeah. And so we're going to go to this thing with the thought of, look, we can give you a smallish but decent platform that at least we're not going to be going, we need to stop work, push for time. I don't give a fuck. We could sit here for an hour and a half on just abortion alone. And we'll let you be you, give your attitude yourself. I think Hillary Clinton wins hands down the presidential election in 2016 if she sucks up her pride and goes on Howard Stern's show and he does 2 hours with her. I think he could humanize her. Yeah. She doesn't have to be a fucking robot. She can talk and joke about her sex life. She could be humanized, and that would have made her, for all the people that were on the fence or I've always thought of her as a robot and a machine. That would have loosened some of those people up, and she probably would have won the 2016 election. But her ego was too big to let her fucking do that. Yep. Thank God. But, I think people like Tudor Dixon would do a lot of good going on as many podcasts as she can.
Sure.
And letting people know who she is. So all I know is she's a mother of 4. She's a cancer survivor. She's Republican. She's been endorsed by Trump. She thinks what Gretchen Whitmer's mandates were bullshit. And she's got some pretty hardcore opinions on abortion. She's been, I would say.
And a bit of an actress.
Yeah.
She's been in some low-budget horror movies.
Which means there's a potential that titties have been okay.
By the way, I don't understand why I don't do anything on Twitter at all. I just have it, but for some reason I get updates of random tweets that, like this. I don't know why. But anyway, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, happy birthday to my 75th birthday to my best friend. I marveled the way you approach life and constantly work to make more good things happen for more people. Not a day that goes by I don't feel like the luckiest man alive, referring to Hillary Clinton.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah, your phone's not listening to you at all.
Right.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Hillary Clinton is his best friend in the world.
And she's 75 today?
Apparently.
Too fucking old,
luckiest man alive.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, because she lets him bang whoever he wants.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, right.
You know that clause. Was
Back to
what
Tudor.
they were young.
But yeah,
In
that
the
was why I
deal.
really wanted to watch the debate. I got a pretty
Right.
good idea where Stretch is coming from.
Yeah.
Right? I've seen it, done it, know where we're at. But I haven't heard that much from Tudor.
Yeah.
All they do is lean on the abortion thing.
Oh.
And that's it. And they try and tie her to the
almost
boss.
criminal
Yeah.
how much they lean on the abortion thing.
That's the only thing they have.
Yeah.
And they know that's the hot button topic.
Is it, though?
I mean,
It sort of is, but...
But I mean, that's the only thing that she's got. So
Yeah.
that you have to lean on those things. Like I said, we talked about it. You got to go down 4 or 5 deep on the list.
Yeah.
To find something that you can actually lean onto, and that's all they have. Because from everything I've seen, there's not a whole lot else to be able to attack her on.
Tudor Dixon hates women.
Yeah.
She wishes all women would die during childbirth. She doesn't represent Michigan at all.
Like, those are literally the commercials.
Basically, yes.
Where it's like, Ms. Dixon, what do you think about abortion? I'm not for it at all. I'm against it 100%.
Tudor Dixon wants your mom to die in childbirth. That's how much she hates women. She's terrible for Michigan.
You know, all the commercials are just hilarious.
Yeah.
They
I've never
crack
even
me up
heard her
so much.
speak, really. Not in any, forum like that.
Yeah.
Heard clips here and there, but that's it. So I wanted to see how she handled herself. I wanted to see her composure.
She was in the pocket, man. She was bobbing and weaving.
She is strong.
Yeah.
She was strong. There was times, if you equate that to a boxing match, she never knocked Gretch out, but she put her on the ropes a couple of times. She stunned her a couple of times.
Yeah.
I watched Gretch go,
Yeah.
okay.
When they move on to, it's always the funniest when they have that freeze frame when they show both podiums, and it's like Tudor Dixon just got done talking about what a pile of shit, liar, piece of shit Gretch is, and they're like, okay, moving on, and Gretch is just like,
Yeah, take it.
yeah, I just got to take that one in the tits. I didn't get a chance to say anything. They didn't give me that 15-minute thing to rebut.
They gave them both each an opportunity to say something nice about their opponent. And
Which
their
all
party.
they did is say that, they're a mom.
Mom, exactly.
Oh,
Which is the
God.
easiest fucking thing they could.
what a cop
They
out.
should.
Yeah.
They should have stepped
Fucking
in and
mom
said
cares.
something else.
Yeah.
Something
Okay.
else. Say something
Do over.
about them as a person. Or
I would have said Gretchen's teeth look whiter than I've ever seen before. She looks
Whatever
great.
you got
Look at
going
those
on over
teeth.
there, nice job.
Yeah, did someone spray paint those? How did you do that? Is that eggshell white? What are we looking at?
It just was
those
such a
are
cop-out,
those
though.
are almost
Right.
blindingly white.
I'd like to commend Gretchen for her safe sex practices in high school.
But that was the warm up act to what I was really interested in. And normally I wouldn't care about Pennsylvania's local Senate election.
No.
But John Fetterman has gotten quite a bit of publicity for his fucking radical ideas.
Has been very nationalized.
Yes, he's been very nationalized. He's got this gigundous fucking goiter on his neck. It's weird. He looks like an ogre or, an Addams Family character with his Carhartts on. And he sounds like a dolt. He sounds like a meathead dolt.
Well,
But he's super lib.
he had a stroke a few months back.
Okay.
So he doesn't speak as poorly. He didn't speak as poorly then as he does now. I'm not saying he was.
It was pretty poor then.
It wasn't ultra articulate,
And his
but
ideas were shit.
that's fair too. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that this is not pure
He at one point,
Fetterwoman
right.
of what you're getting now. So
He at one point, Troy said, if you had a magic wand, what would you do? If you had a magic wand, if I could give you a magic wand, either one, floor is yours.
what I would do.
Yeah. End world hunger. Okay, would be a good
Sure,
answer.
yeah. If I was
And
if I'm being me now,
homelessness?
no. But if I'm a politician, by all means.
Magic wand, I'm going to put $1 billion in my bank account. That would be a good answer. You know what his answer is? You know what his answer was? If he had a magic wand, he would release hundreds of thousands of imprisoned criminals.
That's what he would do.
That's what he would do.
Okay.
So knowing that a Senate member doesn't have necessarily the power to do that, but if he had a magic wand, that's what he would do.
That's what he would do.
Because that's
You
what
wouldn't get rid of that fucking toad on your neck?
right.
Not even
Right?
that?
Yeah.
Maybe go back pre-stroke? Nothing?
Nothing. Go back. I would go back 6 months and not have a stroke. That's what I would do. But yeah, Fetterman, yeah, there you go. Look at that thing.
Are we sure that's not just a fat roll?
Yes, because
Okay.
look at his other side. It's straight as an arrow.
All right.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
There's
right
a
there.
lot going on there between that nose, that fucking head,
That Neanderthal brow.
that Neanderthal brow, that ridiculous goatee.
Well, I was going to say, what kind of facial hair is? It's not even a goatee, is it? Because
No.
it
I
doesn't
think
circle
technically.
around.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't go up over the lip roll. It just kind of it's like a
It's a,
beard.
And Troy, let me
what
tell
do
you
you
this
call
too.
that? The,
a very big soul patch, not soul patch.
yeah, but I forget what they call that. Just the
Yeah, I
bottom.
think it's a goat. Yeah, just the bottom goatee. I don't think it
I
looks
think
good on many
technically this
people
is
at
the
all.
goatee, even with or without the mustache.
I mean, because
Because a goat has
like if you look at it from this angle, the funny
Got a
thing
beard like a Billy Goat. Ooh, ooh.
the funny thing about that to me is like I got more and more into facial. Like he's obvious. Like that's where he's ending it. Like he's obviously shaving that very specifically.
Yeah, and you see, he like all of his sweatshirts wear this hooded thing to cover that fucking gigundous lump on his neck. That's what all those things do. Where he's got all these things buttoned up to his neck.
His running mate.
And let me tell you this, Troy. This is
Look at
going
him
to
in
be.
this image. Like oh shit, it's a little. But he's just like sleeked down. You're right. Like with that. Like I mean those are
Yeah,
even
that's
for a
meant to cover
hoodie.
something up.
That's a massive. Like mine doesn't do that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
No.
You're wearing a hoodie, right? In fact,
Yeah.
everyone in this room is wearing a hoodie,
It's holding
and I
it
can
up.
It
also
doesn't-
see
it
your
doesn't-
necks.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this. This might be unpopular. I don't give a fuck that he had a stroke.
No.
I don't feel bad for him at this point.
No, I don't. I'm
And-
just
and let me
explaining
explain.
that his speech and things like that there's a reason. That's my only point of saying that.
And that warrants some explanation on my point to say that because it sounds rude. It sounds cruel. It sounds mean. It
Doesn't
sounds
change his stance.
unempathetic, right? It's the same reason I don't have much sympathy for. Shut up, Beezus.
Sorry.
Why I don't have much sympathy for Lee Corso. Why I didn't have much sympathy for Dick Clark.
Yep.
Why I don't have much sympathy for Chris NFL
Mortensen.
Because you've chosen to put yourself on that public stage.
Yeah.
You've done that. No one else. Your family didn't stop you or couldn't stop you. And you put yourself up there and then said, this is me at my current best.
Mm-hmm.
And your current best is garbage. Your current best is unlistenable to a casual viewer. So I don't care how much ass kissing and dick sucking they do on ESPN every time Lee Corso's on. He's a fucking train wreck. Chris Mortensen is better, but hardly. Dick Clark was an absolute joke on ABC. And this is coming from someone who is one breath away from a stroke. The last thing you will see me do after having a stroke is come down here and jump on a microphone. I'm not going to open myself up to that because I know the ridicule and the shit that will be thrown your way. And if I put myself up to that and throw myself down in the studio on a microphone and go, everybody listen to me. I've got a hot take. No one's going to hear anything but the fucking ridiculous clown you sound like. And Fetterman made a fool of himself at a level that has never been seen in the history of American politics last night.
It was
what
embarrassing.
the shit he put together last night was so bad. It was almost like you wanted Oz just to take a knee and walk off the stage and go, you know what?
Mercy.
I've done 15 minutes.
Mercy
The guy's
rule.
spoken for 4.5 minutes. You've seen enough. I'm not. This is abuse at this point. I'm not doing this. You know,
he's being praised for being so brave.
brave.
You know, and,
yeah.
he's an
So
inspiration
brave.
for being up there, and it.
I can't believe he got up there. I honestly kept thinking when he pushed this debate back. Here's the sad part. Close to 700,000 Pennsylvanians have already voted in this election.
Yeah.
Okay.
The problem with early elections.
Right.
Okay.
So the mail-ins have already gone out. They know that 70% of those vote Democrat. So this guy, while he has refused to debate Mehmet Oz for obvious reasons, he's refused. These people couldn't rush to the polls fast enough to get their vote in for this guy.
Didn't matter.
And this was the first time you've really seen him on camera. And holy shit.
Yeah, but it didn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter for those people regardless. He could have taken his dick out and sat there and done the helicopter, and they're still going to check
He could have been
all the
slapping a
Ds.
12-year-old girl across the cheeks.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and they still would have voted
She
for him.
deserved it. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're still going to check a D.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. And we were watching this thing last night, and and I've tried to watch it with an open mind. I really did.
I know you did. You were working hard, too.
I tried.
I felt bad for you.
Nah, I know. I mean, in that, because I'm empathetic to him. I really am. I understand that dysphagia is a side effect of that, and it doesn't affect necessarily your cognitive shit, So, he could be there, and it's to judge him just by his speech. So I was willing to give him a lot more leeway on that side of it. But Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, he never said anything.
Yeah.
Like anything. Now, whether or not that's just because he couldn't get it out, but I mean,
yeah,
it was.
I've got. Okay, first off, his campaign before the debate said, "This is really unfair," and I was like, "Okay, I'm listening. Why is this unfair for your candidate to have a debate? He's running for fucking a Senate seat." In the United States, right? Like,
right.
Been done since the dawn of time.
Yes, and so the argument they gave to why this wasn't fair is because the person he would be debating, Mehmet Oz, had a TV show, and so he's used to being on the camera.
Okay.
Okie
You're a politician.
Yeah, I know. Right. That was kind of my takeaway is like, well, you're a politician ready for the national stage or you aren't. Why aren't you running for local school board then? Yeah. Where you can get your chops under you if that's what it takes. Run for fucking local PTA school board type shit. What are you doing on the national stage?
That's basically just saying it's not fair. He has more talent.
Yeah.
They're better than me.
Wait a minute. He's a doctor and I barely graduated. What the fuck?
Not fair,
How can I debate a doctor? It's not fair. It's not fair.
Just saying he's better at what we're about to do than us, so it's not fair.
Wait, he had a TV show? That's what your problem is? Yeah. He had a TV show, so he's smoother on camera. Oh, we could give you a TV show for the next decade, and you are not going to be that smooth, sir.
No.
Sorry. So, John Fetterman, also his team, blamed the captioning system used during the debate for his widely criticized performance. Oh. And when I say widely criticized, I'll get to some of that in a moment.
Yeah.
Widely criticized.
I picked up on that early in the debate. There was a discrepancy in the
ability.
You want to explain what we were watching?
Teleprompters.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, what it appeared that behind each moderators, there were giant screens that were their teleprompters. Instead of having a small one in front of you, there were like two giant screens behind them. Now, I assume theoretically you could see both, but they were two on each side, so it's sort of each guy's.
And this is for this is for the candidates.
This was for yes,
yeah.
They have teleprompters in a debate.
Well,
yes, sort of.
First of all, I think he negotiated that deal.
Gotcha.
Because he needs it.
Right. So apparently,
but you can't just answer a question.
No. Apparently, Fetterman cannot answer a question.
No.
He can't pick up on what's being asked of him. And then it's worse. So it's easier for him to read it in script form and then give a response.
Yeah, because it does. The words don't come through.
And this will not affect his ability to be
obviously not. They've said,
govern.
His doctor says no, so good enough for me.
Okay.
Yeah, his doctor who's donated to his campaign and every other Democrat's campaign. Yeah. Not his actual stroke doctor.
No.
This is a different doctor.
This is the one that was actually willing to sign the papers.
Right. Yeah, a doctor. Yeah. Very key difference. Yeah.
Now, I guess I will say, obviously, a senator is different than a president. Like, he's not in some rooms making nuclear
What is a
decisions.
senator's job, though, E?
No, I'm not saying.
No, I'm asking for real. Do you know what a senator's job is?
God, that's a great question, actually.
Their job is to go in front of fucking Congress and whatnot and debate their points quickly and with in the fastest way possible to get their point across, to convince people across their aisle and
that's a very good
the other
point.
Aisle that they have the best answer. Now, did that guy? Now, Pennsylvania, you're on the clock.
Yep.
If this is the best representation you can get at the U.S. Senate level, then good luck to you.
They're gonna wheel in they're gonna wheel in a big teleprompter. He's on the Senate floor,
they're
right?
gonna have to.
And everyone else gets they talk real fast. They're like, whoa.
He's gonna have to slow down and wait for him to read it.
Think about he went against Dr. Oz, who was very gracious and was like, look, as a doctor, I have the utmost respect and empathy for anybody that's gone through what he's gone through. It's a testament to him that he's even here. Yeah. Imagine him going against Ted Cruz on a debate stage. Imagine him going against Trey Gowdy on a debate stage. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
He would still be.
Yeah.
Answer the question.
Yeah. It would be a bloodbath.
It's funny that they've been calling Oz that he was bullying him all night, and I watched a good portion of that, and I saw him be nothing but gracious.
Yeah.
And really, like
they don't have to back that up with any sort of facts.
No,
or
just
anything.
throw it out there and be like,
say
oh
it.
yeah, see, he was making fun of him for his stroke. What an animal.
And then that's 90% of the people that never watched it just go, Oz is just a bully.
Yeah.
They just hear from secondhand, so and so called him a bully.
That's all that matters.
It's all that matters. And then all these people just pick it up and go,
right.
Kai Rittenhouse shot 3 black people at a Black Lives Matter rally.
Exactly.
I know you're about to play some clips here. I kind of want to watch the whole thing now. So
Oh, you
I'm hoping
should.
I'm hoping it's somewhere.
Actually,
It's
you
gotta
really
be.
only have to watch about 10 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Because it's the same 10 minutes
Dude,
over and over.
Here's
and
what
over.
happened in this household. We're watching it, and we're like 40 minutes into what is a 60-minute debate.
Yeah.
And I am like, I'm sitting on the couch, just, oh my God.
Right.
I can't believe what I'm watching. And Troy just at one point goes, can we go back to watching the bitches? And I was like, why? He goes, I've seen enough, man. I can't do this anymore. He was legitimately and genuinely like, this just feels like piling on at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
Yeah. And it wasn't, Oz. Like, he wasn't, it was just the fact that they would ask him a question and he could intelligently, articulately answer it and make a point. And then they would go back to the ogre and he would just, and he couldn't.
Yeah.
And it was
And
just
people, as Mike said now, apparently, a certain amount of people, about, 500,000 ish or whatever that have already voted for him. Just not even seeing any of this, not caring.
Of course, because it doesn't matter exactly. Hence, bowl of soup.
Yeah.
Right.
But like I was saying with the teleprompter, just to finish that part.
Oh,
that
yeah.
There was a shot when you could see them side by side when they show the monitors and you could see them both. And Oz's is like here, and Fetterwoman's is bigger text, bolder font, larger spacing, and way slower.
Yeah.
It's like a full sentence like behind what Oz was doing at all times.
Like looking at your grandpa's cell phone, iPhone, who's got the text is half the screen.
Yeah. So they're probably going to, that's probably what they're going to like say, oh, no, it's not his fault. The teleprompter was slow and being stupid. Like, no, I'm sure
Well,
that
I think
was
the human
very
was being
deliberate.
slow and being stupid.
It was very deliberate. That was his pace.
Yeah.
Before we get to some clips, which we've got a couple, and we don't need to hammer this home because it doesn't get any better.
No.
It only gets worse, and I know most of you probably didn't see it. Some of you have seen some clips. It was a treat to watch for me. I enjoyed every second of it. During the debate, Fetterman repeatedly stammered, had awkward pauses, seemed to be out of sync with what was being said, even had outbursts, which included shouting at Dr. Mehmet Oz during closing statements. So his team came out, John Fetterman's, and instead of I expected them to come out and go, yeah, we
told him not to do it.
We really thought our guy could stand up to this, but clearly this was a shit show, and we're very,
In
very
hindsight,
sorry.
we shouldn't have done that.
Right.
So no, what they said is,
Stand by your man.
we are thrilled with John's performance.
Of course.
He did remarkably well tonight. Okay.
Yeah, well,
Sounds like
all things considered, that probably was. That's probably his best.
Seeing as he was sucking on his thumb and saying gaga goo goo last week, this is remarkable. what
sounds
he's
like a
doing.
parent talking about a kid who just was in a play that fucked up or something.
His kid just got caught fucking a goat, and
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
they're like,
well, he's a good kid.
He's a
He's
good
a good
boy.
boy. And no one's perfect. Are you perfect?
Right.
I mean, second place is pretty good, right?
So, especially, he did remarkably well tonight, especially when you consider that he's still recovering from a stroke and was working off of a delayed captions filled with errors. John won.
Blame the victim.
I'm going to say this without laughing. I can do this without laughing.
Try.
John won countless exchanges. Yeah.
Even as his, trying to watch that with an open mind.
Yeah.
It was zero. It was zero.
Right.
I think
less than zero.
yeah. Like
Some of his
I mean,
answers made him go backwards.
that's fair.
Let me ask you, was it zero because the answers he's eventually got out there were bad, or is it zero because he didn't answer anything?
It's
and
zero
never
because
got
he
them?
never got an answer out. For
How
one.
did the moderators handle it?
They were, I would say,
They helped him.
they were a bit left leaning.
When it was
Did they
time,
finish sentences?
Oz would just do what most politicians do when they go, "Sir, time's up," or they ring the bell, And then they just blow through that, and they give an extra 15 seconds, finish their point.
Yeah.
And then they move on. When they would go to Fetterwoman, Fetterneck, Fetterman, whatever, when they would go to him and be like, time, he would just stop in mid-sentence and just like fucking stop. Just like, it was like they helped him out. Like,
slap.
he wasn't going anywhere with that anyway.
No,
So
why?
you're better off just.
No, it was like, thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
All right,
I can stop talking now. Thank fucking
I rambled long enough.
Are we done yet? Can I go backstage and have everybody tell me I won?
God, I had
Please,
to,
can we
I
just
had to
get?
stall for 30 seconds?
I finished my quota of
Can we
words.
skip the rest of this so I can go backstage and everyone can just tell me I won? I like that part the best.
Oh my God.
So going back to his team, John won countless exchanges. Countless.
Countless.
Yeah, I
That's
think-
not even just like one.
Yeah, because I couldn't count any, so that's countless.
I
right?
counted less than they could.
That's true. That's a good point.
He counterpunched aggressively
Okay.
and pushed back on Oz's cruelty and attacks.
Oh boy. Okay.
You see what they did there?
Of course.
Yeah. Next Star's Chief Communications Officer, Gary Whiteman, responded to these claims.
Oof.
So what he's responding to
He must be a
is,
Republican.
he's still recovering from a stroke and working off of delayed captions filled with errors. And so Gary Whiteman from Next Star's Technology was like, hold my beer. Hold on. Okay, this guy wants to be a clown to everybody else. That's fine. But now he's talking about my technology.
Don't throw me under the bus.
The microphone, please. Gary Whiteman said, it is unfortunate that Mr. Fetterman is now criticizing the closed captioning process employed by Nexstar during tonight's debate. Both candidates agreed to the technical setup for the closed captioning process weeks ago, which was implemented at the request of the Fetterwoman campaign. Both candidates were offered the opportunity for 2 full rehearsals with the same equipment used in tonight's debate. Mr. Fetterneck chose to do only one. In fact, Nexstar's production team went to extraordinary lengths to ensure the effectiveness of the closed captioning process and to accommodate several last-minute requests of the Fetterwoman campaign. The closed captioning process functioned as expected during rehearsal and again during tonight's debate. We regret that Mr. Fetterwoman and his campaign feel otherwise. What I would say is you should do another debate then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If we didn't nail it on this one, John, let's do another debate. I know Oz would be up for it. Let's do that.
Am I wrong? But I just don't watch. I've never ever remember a debate where people in the debate where you had teleprompters. Am I wrong?
They're
Does it
not.
happen?
They're not teleprompters. They're closed captioning.
Okay.
So closed captioning.
It's not for
meaning-
what they can say. It's for to read the questions.
So the auditory.
Okay.
So he's having trouble. He's not deaf. He doesn't wear an earpiece, but his brain is fucked up. And so
Gotcha.
when they're asking questions auditorially, he's not grasping it all.
That
So
sounds-
they that's what you want out of a senator.
I can't find any issues that governing.
Why would you? Racist, bigot, ableist. Fuck you, ableist.
That was my
Right.
point as we were watching it. I'm like, who could possibly watch this? I don't care what side of the aisle you're on.
Yeah.
Who could watch this right now and say with full confidence, that is the man that I want to speak for me?
And that makes sense, by the way, now Troy, when you said like when he had his like 30 seconds and he took. Now I get what you're saying. So
Yes.
he was reading the question.
He's reading
like,
the
sitting there
question.
like,
Yes.
But-
Exactly.
but
And
the
then he
weird
starts
part
to
about that,
talk, and
though,
they're like, ding, ding, ding.
Hold on. The weird part about that, though, was sometimes they'd finish the question and he'd respond right away.
Yeah.
And sometimes he'd look like a deer in headlights for 10 seconds, which is an eternity on a dais like
with
that.
30 seconds to speak. Yeah.
Right. And he'd just be like, ah. And it's like, wait a minute. You were able to just jump on the end of that question, last question. I mean, you didn't say anything, but at least you started.
Right.
So he started the debate, by the way. They said, ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce, for your first opening statement, John Fetterneck. And they introduce him, and he says, hi, good night, everybody. That's how he opened.
got a real Biden on our hands here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah. Dude, I almost tweeted, but I didn't
God.
want to get into it.
Yeah.
And I was going to do something along the lines of, I thought Biden couldn't speak. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you John Fetterwoman.
He said hello, good night,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody. That's how he opened. Hi, good night, everybody.
What? I gotta watch this.
It's the greatest thing ever, dude. It is.
Hello,
So,
good night, everybody.
so the fallout.
That was the only chance he had of winning the debate.
Dude, look at that.
He
That's
was
a
hoping-
headline
he
of
was-
this article.
He was
Hi, good night,
hoping
everybody.
that was going to work.
Hi, good night, everybody.
Roll credits.
That would have been better.
I know.
He would have actually picked up the Democratic vote by and large, had he just done that.
Hey, it was a great move. He tried.
Yeah, he tried.
Took a shot.
All he didn't do was exit stage left. He should have just exited.
How?
right
Let me
there.
ask you this:
Hi, good night, everybody.
Just turn and walk.
How did he
See, I
react
showed
after
up.
he said it? When he said it,
Had no idea he said it.
People just were like, no, nobody said anything because they can't be honest. They're debate moderators.
What did they say? They just, excuse me, sir, we just got started.
Yeah.
Well, I think what he
And I
means
suppose you
is,
could say, it's kind of like when you said, what did you say? And it was like, well, it's technically right both ways.
oh,
What did you say?
dude, I don't remember the right way anymore. Dude, what is it? So good so far? I don't even remember what's right
so
anymore.
far, so good.
Oh, yeah.
And
What?
so good so far, we broke it down and we're like,
Technically, that works, yeah.
So good so far and so far, so good.
What is the right
works
one?
the same. So far, so good.
Okay.
So for him, hi, good night. I mean, on a technicality basis, good night is just.
Yeah.
Couldn't you technically use that? Like,
This is a good night. It is
it's
evening
a good
and
night.
it's
or
good.
Good evening would be better, but good night. I mean,
gotta see this
use
now.
pull up. Hi, good night.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Go
I'm
ahead.
going to. I have
and
to
I'll
see
read
it.
some
I'm
of this.
sorry.
So this is from people. He faces fallout from this thing. Worst performance by any candidate I've ever seen. They traded barbs, closed captioning. Even with the moderators constantly cutting Fetterman off to protect him from himself, there's nothing the media can do to spin this debate. Andrew Serbian tweeted, I have never seen someone so obviously mentally, physically unfit to serve in office than John Fetterman. PR exec Josh Holmes said, I've honestly never seen anything like this. The partisanship required to vote for Fetterman at this point should be studied in a lab. Is that the greatest fucking tweet
That
ever?
is fantastic. And so fucking true,
And
man.
so true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
If you're still pushing forward going, yeah, vote for that guy, we need to study that in a lab.
Right.
That's right.
Can't the DNC like step in and be like, hey, John, listen, we can pull the Biden on this. We can put anybody else in here and pull this off.
They've sort of tried that. He's been off the trail.
Yeah.
He's been hiding in his basement.
No, I mean like pull him from the ticket and stick anyone else on there
Anyone.
with a D next to their name.
Anyone.
Yes, because that's the biggest. There's got to be someone with a conscience that goes,
Yeah.
no fucking way.
Just so we are all clear, that was Fetterman with weeks of prep and specialized computer assistance throughout. So what you just saw is the very, very best Fetterman can do, which is terrifying.
I think this is it. Unfortunately, without being able to listen to this stuff, I think this is it.
Sure. Let's check it out.
As lieutenant governor, you're running for a seat that could decide the balance of power in Washington. What qualifies you to be a U.S. senator? You have 60 seconds.
This ain't it.
Hi, good night, everybody.
Oh,
I'm running to serve Pennsylvania.
oh my God.
Hi, good night, everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, that's rough.
Tap out, John Fetterman.
Yeah.
This is hard to watch.
It
Someone
was
else.
agonizing.
This is not funny. It is not something to make fun of. It is genuinely upsetting. And if Fetterman gets elected, it will show the degree to which Democrat voters are prepared to exploit vulnerable humans for political purposes.
Yep.
The media protected this guy. There's no bottom. Time magazine reporter Charlotte Alter tweeted, I spoke to Fetterman recently and I expected him to be very bad tonight, but he was so much worse than I expected. Joe
The bar
Concha
was low,
and he
and he
fucking
limboed that bitch.
yeah, he limboed it hard. Joe Concha tweeted, it's hard to see this race not changing decidedly after just 20 minutes into this debate. Fetterman's statements simply don't make any sense. His ability to communicate is seriously impaired. That's from MSNBC's Joe Scarborough. Pennsylvania voters will be talking about this obvious fact, even if many in the media will not. This is painful to watch, regardless of one's politics. It is cruel of his team to expose him to such ridicule when he is clearly unfit to either take part in TV debates or be a fully functioning senator. He should withdraw.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't.
Then Clay Travis says, this is the worst performance by any candidate I have ever seen in any debate. If this were a boxing match, they would throw the towel in. This is sad. John Fetterman's entire campaign should be ashamed for letting this happen. So, even liberals. You want to hear from more liberals?
Please.
The performance, blah, blah, blah. Before, let's see. Okay, CNN's Allison Camerata, who has done nothing but blow Joe Biden.
Come right on or what?
Come right on her. Camerata. Yeah, come right on her. Whatever. Allison. I used to like Allison. She's got, her TDS is so severe that it's unwatchable drivel. She was unsettled by this. He's sounded different before the stroke. I would think that's true of most people.
Sure.
In the interviews, he was much more sort of clear-spoken than what I'm hearing. Some Democrats agree with David Axelrod. David Axelrod, formerly of Obama's campaign, he was a Democratic strategist, senior advisor to Obama. Fetterman needed to show he's sufficiently recovered, and this debate surely did not help.
Right.
Chris Cuomo. John Fetterman struggled. He's clearly dealing with health issues that affect his ability to process and his ability to speak. Clearly, fitness for office is going to be on the table. That may not be fair to some for me to say, but if the voters aren't talking about it, I'll be shocked. Oh, they're talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the biggest crime of all of this is if somehow he actually wins. If there's enough there that he actually wins this seat, I mean, it speaks volumes
Right.
to the fucking closed-mindedness of people and where we are as a society.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think
It would almost be good if he does win, because then it will almost prove the point that we've been making about soup for 2 years.
Right.
Like literally you could have run a bowl of soup. Well, here you are you're running a vegetable at a minimum. This guy's a vegetable that you're running up there. And there's nothing welcoming about him. There's nothing inspiring about him.
No.
There's nothing I've heard about his position on things. Even when he's flip-flops on stuff, like all politicians do, there's a way that they've got a snappy retort that they can spin it back and make it like it was someone else's fault.
Yep.
And they always believe this way. You'll see when I get to the thing on fracking where he can't hang. Can't hang. Democrats, many of whom are Fetterman supporters, bemoan the night. Why the hell did Fetterman agree to this? One Democratic lawmaker and Fetterman backer told Axios, this will obviously raise more questions than answer about John's health. Yeah. So, so would you rather just stick your candidate in the basement? Like, so what you're suggesting is, yeah, exactly.
Like a bowl of soup?
Like a bowl of soup. Just stick him in the basement. Don't let the public see him. Don't let him do any interviews. Don't let him go on the podium. That's what they did with Biden, and he won.
Hide the weaknesses.
He won, in quotes. He won. He got 80 million votes. How couldn't he have,
Yeah.
So, yeah, what you're saying then, sir, is why the hell did Fetterman agree to this? In other words, we all know he's a train wreck. Why did you let him go out there? We could have won if you just stuck him in the basement.
You dodged the first couple bullets of not
How
doing it.
How scary is that?
Yeah. They were afraid that if he didn't do it, it was going to cause more damage than if he did. And I think they probably thought he could perform moderately better than he did. And like I said, even with the best of intentions that I watched that with a very caring, I swear to God.
Yeah,
I mean, there is just no way. No fucking way.
I'll be disappointed, Troy, if this comes out and it's 51-49.
Yeah.
Will be just as damning to the process. Like, you would send a message if it was like, 93-7. And you go, okay, his family and friends voted for him, but everybody else that watched this went, clearly we might hate the fact that Oz is more of a Republican, but at least he's going to battle for Pennsylvania. There's no way this guy can take the Senate stage and battle for Pennsylvania. At the end of the day, this is our state.
Yeah.
We have to have some level of professionalism on, what's he going to wear? A Carhartt and fucking
Yeah,
go
we
up there
talked
with
about that.
lump
Put
neck
those
and-
two side by side and guess which one's a senator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love this. A senior Democrat official in Pennsylvania told Axios, I wished Fetterman was in a better place to clap back.
Or clap at all.
Yeah. Overall, listen to this.
He would miss.
Overall, I argue it wasn't great for us, but still a draw.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Remember in these next few weeks that Oz's campaign is spending tens of millions of dollars against a man with a major medical condition.
Well, he doesn't have to run.
No, but he does, doesn't he? Doesn't he have to run?
No.
I mean, I
He
wouldn't.
doesn't?
No, believe it or not, Mike. he
Wait,
could
he's
just
got
sit
a
at home.
major medical condition. I think he has to run by law.
Right.
Obligated.
Yeah, he's obligated, so there's nothing you can do.
He doesn't have
Don't
to
make fun of
fucking
him.
run.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's fine. It was just sad that everything I saw, I saw a lot of comments that were just like, so brave, so proud of you. We support you no matter what. Which basically
trolls,
means
right? They have to be.
I don't think so. I think we talked about it last night in that the debate is a weird thing because there is a good fraction of both sides that it doesn't matter. That you're going to vote what you're going to vote regardless. The debate is not going to change your mind.
Right.
And then we even talked about the experiences where people have watched the same thing and come away with two very different takes. Right?
Yeah.
So depending on which color glasses
Right.
you're watching it through.
Yeah.
Right?
That's remarkable to me, by the way. I don't fully understand that. I like to think.
Going back to the Pence-Kamala things, she owned him. Like, at no point in that entire debate.
No.
No.
Right.
That was second only to Fetterman's performance.
And you know what? I like to think, like, I could watch. It was painful to watch Trump at times debate.
Yeah.
Because he was a loose cannon.
Clown.
He was clownish.
Yeah.
There were a lot of clownish things about him. I could watch Obama versus McCain and go, oh, Obama took that shit to him.
Yep.
Obama can speak so well.
Right.
He's such a well-studied. He's a pile of shit. Don't get me wrong, but he's well-studied. Yeah. He knows his shit. He's, I don't believe he's genuine in a lot of things, but anybody taking him on in a debate format is probably going to look a little foolish. There's no denying that Bill Clinton was a fucking stud on the dais. He just was. You didn't have to agree with his politics, and you still go, God damn, I either want to fuck that guy or vote for him.
Yep.
Women wanted to bang him, dudes wanted to vote for him. It was obvious that George H.W. Bush was a fucking nerd and blah, 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 and Bill Clinton was cool.
Slick Willie.
Slick Willie.
Yep.
He was cool. He was the one crushing puss, behind his wife's back, blowing sacks on on fucking what's his name's talk show.
Letterman or
no,
Leno?
No.
Was it what was it?
It was
Arsenio.
Arsenio Hall. Yeah.
Yeah, when Arsenio had the show. But you could say the same thing about, if you're being honest, don't just go with your Republican fucking whatever. Obama cleaned fucking the clock of McCain and a lot of that stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And his Obama's, I don't remember Joe.
Who did
Biden.
he go up to the first? Like, who did he face? You said McCain the one time. I don't even remember who he faced either the first or second time. I'm trying to remember who did he.
Well, McCain was the second.
Second time. Who did he go after the first time?
It was Bush.
Oh no! Bush had 2 terms.
No, not George H.
Obama.
Yeah.
George W. had 2 terms.
2 terms, yeah.
Who was? I'm saying who?
Oh, right, yeah. Who was?
Who were the other people that he?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember who all the 20 people
Okay.
he put up were.
I
before he got the nomination. I don't remember.
No. I mean, who was
the
a
election?
Republican that he was facing the first time? I don't even remember. I just a weird thought
I don't
had.
even know. I mean, we'll know as soon as you say it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Oh my God.
But play this video first. E.
Oh yeah.
So
Who cares?
So this is
Quit
about
derailing us.
this is about fracking. Now this is a big talking point. I think there's more oil in Pennsylvania, second in the nation, only to Texas.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people, that talk about energy independence in this country and digging up oil. Fracking goes deeper. It's a more finite process. Some people say it fucks up the earth more and faster. Some people say it's cleaner and it's a whatever, but it's how we get energy in this country. And by fracking, they go much deeper in the ground.
As you're taking away the coal mining from
Right.
Pennsylvania as well.
So they call Fetterman out, and I'm happy with the moderators for doing this instead of going, "What's your stance on fracking?" and just letting him get away with the fact that he did an interview in 2018 and said, "I don't support fracking. I never have." That was his point. So they're like, okay, so now that we're drawing closer to the election, you seem to be for fracking.
Yeah.
How do you square this? So let's hear how Fetterman handled that.
You have made 2 conflicting statements regarding fracking. In a 2018 interview, you said, quote, "I don't support fracking at all. I never have." But earlier this month, you told an interviewer, quote, "I support fracking. I support the energy independence that we should have here in the United States." So, Mr. Fetterman, please explain your changing position. 60 seconds.
I've always supported fracking, and I always believe that independence with our energy is critical, and we can't be held, ransom to somebody like Russia. I've always believed that energy independence is critical, and I've always believed that, and I do support fracking. I've never taken any money from their their industry, but I support how critical it is that we produce our own energy and create energy independence.
Oz, keep a straight face
just a
for
second,
some of
Mr.
this.
Oz. I do want to clarify something. You're saying tonight that you support fracking, that you've always supported fracking, but there is that 2018 interview that you said, quote,
Thank you
I
for
don't
pushing
support
back.
fracking at all. So how do you square the two?
I don't remember saying that.
I do support fracking.
Listen.
And I support fracking, and I do support fracking.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fetterman.
Okay.
And it's,
awesome.
and it's an hour of that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that was good, actually. He actually came off a
He
little
said
better than I thought.
fracking, so
He said
got
fracking
that
a dozen
word out.
times. Yep. So the thing with his doctor's note,
His doctor's note. I have a doctor's note.
Can't come back to
because
school
they're
without
pushing
a
him
doctor's
to
note.
release his medical records, and he's not. That's the issue on this. It's like, okay, well then release your medical records so we know exactly what the fuck we're dealing with here.
Right.
But he won't do it, and he's hiding behind a doctor.
Gotcha.
He released a note from his doctor, like when they're like, you can't come back to work until you have a doctor.
Right.
Look
one
at
of
he
those.
says I can run for Senate.
The doctor says I can work full duty in public office. But what you need to know is this is a doctor, but not his doctor. Okay,
So it's just a doctor.
This is a doctor. He wants you to not get caught up with that and just think this is his doctor. And he's saying that my doctors are saying this. Well, I could have a dozen doctors. One that is really partisan politics friend of mine who happens to have a fucking degree in medicine who can go, John, you look great. You never look better.
Well, he's a
Yeah, here's your note.
podiatrist, though. What?
Yeah. He's not a stroke expert.
he's
I
a
can tell you
dentist.
that.
Your boy
He's a
Deuce.
doctor.
He's a doctor, right?
Yeah,
You
I
can
can
just
have
have him
Dr. Deuce.
have him write a message.
Write a note.
Right, for anything you want.
Anything.
My doctor says
Anything.
this. I need this cocaine.
I have known Dr. Feelgoods. I have known friendly doctors that would write notes for a lot of shit. And if you're at this level of national politics, you can easily find a doctor to go, of
course.
He's fit for duty.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, since he won't give us his medical reports, let's look into this doctor. And you go, oh, he gave thousands of dollars to Obama. He gave thousands of dollars to Hillary. Oh, he gave thousands of dollars to the Fetterman campaign multiple times.
Nothing illegal about that.
Nothing to see here.
Right.
So let's see how he answers the question. When they press him a bit,
So is that this one, I believe, right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Medical records.
Yeah. Will you pledge tonight? They love doing that. Put you on the spot. Will you pledge tonight?
I know.
Will you pledge tonight?
Yeah.
You have not released your detailed medical records surrounding your stroke. Mr. Fetterman, will you pledge tonight to release those records in the interest of transparency? You have 60 seconds.
No. To me, for transparency is about showing up. I'm here today to have a debate. I have, speeches in front of 3,000 people in Montgomery County, all across Pennsylvania, big crowds. I believe if my doctor believes that I'm fit to serve, and that's what I believe is appropriate. And now with 2 weeks before the election, I have run a campaign and I've been very transparent about being very open about the fact we're going to use captioning. And I believe that, again, my doctors, the real doctors that I believe in, they all believe that I'm ready to be served.
Follow up. I didn't
That I'm
hear you
ready
say
to
you
be
would release your
served.
full medical records. Why not? You have 30 seconds.
No, again, my doctor all believes that I'm fit to be serving, and that's what I believe is where I'm standing.
You have not released your detailed medical records.
I'm sorry, dude. Oh, my God.
No.
Oh, my God. I
Is
do want
there
to watch
any
the whole thing.
reason you wouldn't do that? If you said, look, I'm not getting. I don't think it's any of your business what my medical history was in my 20s and 30s. But if you want specific transparency regarding the stroke I had on this date last year and forward, I'd be glad to supply all of the medical records.
But if you're worried about the stage 5 clinger on the back of my neck, I don't want to talk about that.
We're not talking about that. I would draw fucking eyes, nose, and mouth on it.
Told you this is a running mate.
If he was sleeping next to me on the couch, he would definitely. I would either draw pubes on it to make it look like a giant ball coming out of his
you
neck.
could never fucking know. His whole head looks like a bag.
Yeah. And Jesus, those were the most coherent moments of the night.
I'm watching the whole thing now. I'm going to find it on
should.
YouTube or something. I have to. I'm sorry.
It's worth watching. Honestly, It'd be sad if it wasn't so utterly hilarious and it wasn't happening to the most corrupt industry in the world.
Yeah.
That's, again, another reason why I don't have a problem with it, is because these fucking career slime balls that wanna exist on the backs of actual working Americans, fuck all of them.
Yeah.
And if you're going to put yourself up on that stage and make a fool of yourself, good.
Yeah.
Good. We'll watch.
Great.
And we'll laugh along with you.
We got
I'm empathetic to actual human beings, not these pieces of shit.
Bowl of Soup 2.0.
Yeah.
Here we
He might
go.
be worse.
I think it's worse, dude. I mean,
It might be worse.
because actually, also, Biden wasn't so bad until near the end. Like before the pandemic hit, before he was
no doubt.
he was. I mean, with the Fatso thing, for example, he was able technically to see what was happening in front of him and respond.
He's falling quick.
Yeah.
He's sliding very.
This
very
guy's
rapidly.
worse
Scary
because
for the next 2 years.
Oh yeah.
This is
They're
worse
not
to
going to be
me.
able to hide it much longer, I don't think. And
God,
once
2 more years, I can't think about two
know.
more years.
yeah.
And
Well,
they got to rerun them.
I don't think so. You
I
think
mean,
so?
yeah, this is not like a lame duck. They're acting like they're rerunning him. Yeah, they're
Oh my
going to have
God.
to switch gears though. They're going to have to switch gears.
How are they
There's
going to do
no
a debate?
fucking way.
How are they going to do a debate?
And
mean,
without,
imagine if it's
without the
Trump.
pandemic to bail out of it, that's going to be a problem.
If it's Trump versus
Trump would be the worst thing you could run because Trump won't have any empathy at
And
all. I don't think
right.
he has that gene in him.
Yeah.
So he's just going to be like, listen to this clown. He sounds like an idiot. What are you, 80?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
And that's going to turn people off, too.
fuck
yeah, no,
yes.
I know.
No, put somebody up there with some class, like we said. DeSantis.
How about Ron
Gabbard.
DeSantis?
Right.
Oh,
I mean,
DeSantis,
they can
Gabbard,
have-
please, like,
Please, for the love of
DeSantis,
God,
Gabbard
that's
card.
fucking 16 years.
It's
Fingers
16
crossed.
years.
Fingers
It's 16
crossed.
years of a White House insanity in America.
Let's hope, God
Yeah.
willing. Hey, you know our boy Gabar and the team at Zott Ford and Holly
do.
take pride in making buying and leasing new and pre-loved rides simple, fun, fast, and easy. Zott Ford has more inventory now than they've had in almost 2 years, and they receive new cars, trucks, and SUVs every day. So if they don't have what you want in stock, they can tag one that's on the way and get it in your driveway sooner. Plus, Zott's got the deals, baby. For example, you can lease a 22 Ford Edge as low as $242 or a loaded 22 Explorer as low as $297. They're both in stock and ready to go. Finally, Zott Ford is still paying top dollar for your trade-in and giving an extra $1,000 for military and first responders. You can see their inventory and get their details at dealsthed.com. Tell them TDC sent you.
I didn't mean to spend that much time on stuff, but what are you going to do?
I think
I
some
had to
of it.
stuff it in where I could.
I don't know if you would have
Yeah.
without me or not, but because I didn't watch it, I think I was so fascinated with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's
That
the
didn't
reason.
even. You got to watch it in real time and
Yeah.
see the juxtaposition between Oz speaking,
right.
Because all we're showing you is a couple Marvel
Right.
clips.
Yeah.
But when you see it with Dr. Oz versus
No.
this guy,
Exactly. I mean,
it
just
leaps off the screen.
And Oz never misses a beat.
Never.
I mean,
Yeah, that
he
doesn't
doesn't
shock me.
stumble on anything. He is articulate. He's
He's a
I'm
doctor.
not even supporting him. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that there's no way you can look at that and go, that dude's more qualified.
Right.
that guy
You
should
know?
represent my
but
state.
it's not. It's because it's what you want. It's what the letter by their name, and that nothing else matters. And that's what's exactly fucking wrong with this country.
Yeah.
Don't you think it should tell you something too? That I promise you, in less than 2 weeks, on November 8th, when debate night happens, I promise you, that is the most discussed race in America. Why? Why would that be?
Election night,
What-
by the way, right?
Yeah.
You meant- Okay.
What did I say?
Debate night.
Yeah, election night. Sorry, November 8th.
I just wanted. I was not trying to correct you or
No,
be a
that's
jerk.
fine.
I just didn't know.
No, election night. That will be the most covered. Why?
To
All
get-
50 states are having this.
Yeah, to make sure that they get people out to vote.
Or no.
Shake the tree.
Because
Oh.
it's such a shit show. America is going to be interested to see how this.
No, see, I would
state
think.
voted.
I was looking at it differently because nationally, I think they're going to try to keep that under wraps a little bit. And because
I don't think they can. The Democrats are even coming out going, "Fuck! What do we do with this? This was way worse than we thought.
Yeah.
Way worse."
What happens if he wins the election and then almost immediately resigns for medical reasons? Is it go to a re-election, or
no,
they
no,
get
he'd
to,
have a running
He
mate,
would have,
probably.
they would step in
My
to
guess
take
would
over.
be that. Yeah.
I was just curious.
No, that's scary as shit.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of it's the Biden play
Yeah.
in a way that
We're gonna know a lot come November 8th because there's very much that's unlikable about Oz. And if you're being honest, most of you watched him. He was Oprah's best friend on TV for years and years and years. He gave, the knocks on him were that he was making money off weight loss vitamins and shit, and he addressed that last night and said, look, advertisers are a thing. Advertisers advertise. I never, made any money personally off anything. I wasn't personally putting my name on products and slinging it. What if that's a game changer for you or a deal breaker.
And wait, so making money on a product is somehow negates you from being a competent human being?
Well, if you're taking advantage of fat people who are desperate and you're peddling weight loss drugs.
But do they work?
No, I don't think so. And he's not saying he was peddling them. Right. But advertisers advertise. That's what they do.
No, I'm just saying, but there's nothing like...
It's very rare that you turn down an advertiser's money, It happens, but it's very rare. So if you've got a medical doctor show, daytime doctor show, and you've got a pill that you sell in GNC and you want to hype it in programming where you've got a medical show going on where he's talking about healthy diets and blah blah blah, that makes perfect sense. When you're talking about marrying two products together, that makes sense. It made more sense for titty bars and bars to advertise on the Drew and Mike show than it did a flower shop.
Yep.
Right? Whereas the female station, it made more sense for this type of product to be advertised on it. And so that's what I think his point was. Now, is he totally lying and full of shit? Maybe. I don't know.
Nope.
But it doesn't seem like a deal breaker either way. Like, he wouldn't be the first TV host on TV hawking some shit. Yeah. To make money. I mean, there are thousands of them doing it today, currently.
He doesn't even seem very extreme. He seems fairly moderate for from what I saw and his answers on everything. You know, where he truly lies, I guess you don't know. But I mean, the way he answered everything seemed reasonable on a lot of stuff. He seemed very open-minded, seemed very thoughtful on what he was doing. Mm-hmm. But I guess that could have been in glaring contrast to his opponent.
This is what happens if a senator resigns. Just basically...
I just didn't know if it goes to like a revote or if it's...
It looks like the...
Oh, my God. Yeah, they're allowed to appoint someone.
Well, appoint someone...
That's...
To complete... Oh, yeah, to complete the term. Yeah.
We've seen this with a dead guy's wife.
Right.
A dead guy's wife gets appointed. It's like, what the hell's she doing here? It's like, well, she was just appointed.
Yeah.
They'll have a special
she
election
was banging
next
him,
year.
so she's,
yes.
She's appointed by
my God, they could do a special election, but they could appoint them to the term, too.
Yeah,
the governor.
They'd be happier to have John Fetterman's wife, Giselle, up there than they would John.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
So if Fetterneck died, dropped dead, or bowed out, I could see them appointing Giselle. She's a cunt. She's outspoken as hell. She's constantly defending
They can appoint
John.
anyone they want.
Yeah. Yeah. Just wrapping up a couple things, and then we'll get to some email.
Okay.
It says the governor, so I don't know if the governor's Democrat. I'm assuming.
I'm sure it's very similar.
Yeah.
Along those lines.
Yeah.
But
in a major victory for common sense, science, reason, and rationality, a judge in New York ordered that unvaxxed employees who were fired in New York City due to vax status should be reinstated with back pay.
About fucking time. Oh my God!
They must have listened to the show a few times.
Back.
How great is that?
Yes.
And listen to the scathingness.
Biggest tragedies of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Were those people, especially when you start talking about the nurses, medical professionals, the first responders,
firemen.
Yes. Unbelievable.
Dude, you know what's so while this is scathing and brutal and we should have been a long time coming and correct, obviously, and obvious as shit to see from a very far distance. Yeah. The troubling part is the people that should have beet red faces, egg all over it, and feel nothing but shame will feel none of that.
None.
And so it takes away all the joy in a ruling like this because those people will not feel it. Their egos will not allow them to understand how much they've been kicked in the teeth, deservedly so.
Yeah.
They'll still be voted into office there.
They'll probably appeal it.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court, you can't.
They have appealed it.
Of course.
They have appealed it.
Fucking clowns!
Yeah.
Knock it off!
What are you appealing? You're
Knock
appealing
it
that people
off!
are getting their jobs back.
Yeah.
Christ, let it go.
Think about
you were
that.
Fucking wrong. Eat it.
Even if you believed in the vaccine,
they're not going to do that.
Even if you believed in the vaccine at the time, doesn't like you're just appealing that these people, don't get your job back. Yeah.
You previous heroes who were the frontline workers who took the brunt of the actual COVID emergency.
Right.
They took the brunt of that, and then they still blew them out. You know what? Look at this in a different way. Enjoy your time off for free because you're going to get all of it back in back pay eventually anyways. So who cares? If they drag this out for another 6 months,
I hope you've had another job this whole time and made good money, and this is just going to be a windfall for you.
You're going to get a full year and a half worth of back pay.
And
not awesome.
There should be, not only with back pay, there should be penalties associated with it.
I agree.
There should be penalties.
Why not?
Because that doesn't make you whole. I mean, that theoretically is what you would have lost, but you lost so much more than that.
Think about how many of these people lost a home.
Financially,
have gone into debt, have taken out loans that they're paying interest on, have if they've been able to make their payments on their car or their mortgage, have fallen behind and then paid penalties for that. That's the reality of something like that. A fireman or a nurse can't just upend their lives for a year and a half and expect to pay all their bills.
You can't go get another firefighter job.
No.
Or another nursing job.
Not in your area.
Right.
No. The judge stated his decision also stated in his decision the mandate was clearly about compliance, not about protecting public health or any other excuses used by politicians to justify their authoritarianism. It is clear that the health commissioner has the authority to issue public health mandates. No one is refuting that authority. However, the health commissioner cannot create a new condition of employment for city employees. The health commissioner cannot prohibit an employee from reporting to work. The health commissioner cannot terminate employees. The mayor cannot exempt certain employees from these orders. Executive Order number 62 renders all these vaccine mandates arbitrary and capricious. Oh, damn.
Jesus, what's capricious mean? I'm asking because I have no idea.
I want to know how
arbitrary. He said they were arbitrary and capricious.
Let's just say silly.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Silly.
That sounds good to me.
There was never evidence that justified mandates in the first place, let alone their continuation well after it was abundantly clear that vaccines didn't prevent infection. But cities like New York were obsessed with compliance, and so they engaged in surreptitious and now illegal behavior to coerce employees to get vaccinated. Even a month ago, years after their mandates were conclusively disproven as being effective, New York would not allow unvaxxed student athletes to compete in youth sports. The punishment for not complying with New York's offensive anti-science mandates was a complete destruction of the lives and livelihoods of those who dared not to conform. Frontline workers who consistently put their lives on the line to help others were now declared a threat to public health based on nothing. Their lives were turned upside down because incompetent bureaucrats and experts engaged in delusional, wishful thinking and appeals to authority. The CDC, or Dr. Lord Anthony Fauci, said it, so it must be true. Data and actual scientific evidence were ignored because it was inconvenient. The vax mandate for city employees was not just about safety and public health. It was about compliance. If it was about safety and public health, unvaxxed workers would have been placed on leave the moment the order was issued. If it was about safety and public health, the health commissioner would have issued citywide mandates for vaccination for all residents. But as the judge points out, they did none of that because it was about compliance with an indefensible mandate and enforcing compliance with their delusional rules.
I got a little chub after that. I'm not going to lie.
It is a little chub-worthy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's almost vindicating in a way because I got so tired of arguing with fucking liberal douchebags that I know, family, friends, all of them, about, oh, yeah, you're just fucking MAGA or something.
Do your part.
Yeah, do your part.
What part was that?
Yeah, the part where I read actual shit, where I read as much as I could about stuff and got a well-rounded education on it and realized these people were full of shit.
Makes total sense.
And looking for compliance at all costs. Yeah, you mean that? Because I did that for sure. I read a ton of shit. And I knew they were full of shit 2 years ago. Welcome to the party, everybody.
It's been well documented around here.
And I'm not ragging on people that listen to this show. Obviously, people that listen to this show have been well up on shit for a long time.
I got mine. So, I took the bait. That was my choice, and I did it.
Me too. It was easier. But it was easier. I'm ashamed of that. I'm ashamed of that fact.
I'm the same way, dude.
It was easier, right?
I'm the same way.
You wouldn't get another one, would you?
No, God, no.
Yeah, me either.
Never. I mean, I'm not saying never, but I mean, like, as far as
no.
They're still talking. They're still promoting it, you fucks. Knock it off.
Yeah.
And fine. I take it back. If you want to get it, fine. Personal protection.
I agree with
you.
you.
What you
Knock
do.
yourself out.
But the fact that they hid behind this and that they ruin people's lives over it is fucking criminal.
What bums me out on my
And the
end.
fact-
An
we've talked
indictment on
about it.
society as a whole.
And then
It
you'll
really
never be
is.
able to go back. There'll never be real repercussions. This is as good as it's ever going to
Yep.
get.
Yep.
Is
A ruling from a
and that's
judge.
why there can't be penalties above and beyond.
Right.
Because it's reinstatement with back pay to just put you back to where you were, but you can't go any further than that because there can't be any penalties involved because they're exempt.
The
And it's
best you could hope
infuriating.
for, you notice Fauci, you're not seeing him on TV a lot.
Well, he's retiring.
They've just kind of taken him off. It would be good before he fucking retires officially, because his ass is going to get dragged in front of Congress.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And
Even
I don't
after he retires, you're still
yes.
culpable.
I don't ever expect him to go to jail. I don't even want that, honestly. I think he's as responsible for this global pandemic as any person on planet Earth. That's my belief, and I've been right about most of this stuff, as of you. So, but it would be nice to see him get his ass fired at a minimum before he retires.
All I could possibly hope
maybe
is
this
that-
affects your pension a little bit.
that he comes out and actually admits it.
Never.
That would be
Never.
I would take
Never
that way
happen.
over a life sentence.
Never happen.
Yeah, I was wrong. I
Never,
did that.
ever happen.
I know it won't.
Never.
Hey, the emails today are going to be brought to you by
Are they coming up?
your
Right now.
insurance expert. Are you
And
paying
they're all
too
about
much for-
ISIS.
Oh, well, here we
Goody,
go.
goody. Shut up, I'm doing a read.
Okay.
Are you paying too much for health insurance?
Probably.
Are you uninsured?
No.
Health insurance can be confusing. Nick Matthews from Your Insurance Expert is an expert in health insurance, life insurance, and Medicare supplements, so you don't have to be. You can call him, Nick Matthews, 248-914-1173. Again, it's 248-914-1173. Nick Matthews, Your Insurance Expert.
He's great too. I love the fact that people have reached out to him.
Yeah.
And they're all very happy.
That's what we're doing here.
All right, dear Big E. Oh boy.
Yeah, boy.
You're
You're just gonna tell me? Is it okay? It's not long enough to be from the guy. So okay.
from which guy?
yeah, come on.
We'll see.
Who? Bone Job?
Yeah.
You would think. I've been known to give you a hard time. Okay. Easy. So you listening or
I'm
on your
listening.
phone?
Yeah, I'm
Put
listening.
your fucking phone down.
I'm listening.
Dear Big E, I have been known to give you a hard time, but I would like to take a minute to say, my man.
Oh boy.
I wish I could dap you up. Credit where credit is due. Well done, sir. Well done. With love, Bone Job.
Got to be Jackie, right?
Jackie,
Yeah.
I assume.
I mean, I didn't do.
Jackie.
Yeah. Well, I drink till 5 a.m. with a stranger at a bar, and that counted.
Yeah.
Well,
created some
hey,
content.
you got to get that. That goes a long way to the credibility of Bone Job.
That's true.
To send you an email.
I agree. He said something positive, and so
Exactly.
I feel like his picture's on this one too, though.
Oh,
Pablo?
etard. Subject, oh, etard. Right after dapping you up, you go and deny 9/11 because a buddy I know that looks into stuff or
Nah,
whatever.
that's not what it is.
Thanks for proving my point with love, Bone Job.
I just, you know what? I just don't feel like
I'm pretty sure you said a buddy of mine looks into stuff and whatever.
Yeah,
Bone job
okay,
giveth,
that's very.
the bone job taketh away.
That's a very easy. It's my way of saying I don't know how to look at. I've had long conversations. I don't have the ability to, I don't want to sit here and go into all these things. I've just been explained to stuff by
Okay,
people I
Fetterwoman.
trust. I've been explained to stuff by people I trust that has made me question it more than I would have in the past.
Okay.
Did I read this from the backcourt?
No, I don't think so. We had one from Eric.
That's right. Okay. Dear Mike and Troy, thank you for the accolades that you and Troy share with your podcast members on Psalm 1650 concerning our staff and our restaurant. Means the world to our staff that your fine crew had a memorable evening, and the same applies to my dad, daughter, and myself. Concerning a meet and greet at our establishment, we can handle from 3 to 500 or from 3 to 300 monsters, not a problem. Just reach out to me. It'll be a win-win for everyone. Please let Troy know my daughter Izzy said he was handsome.
Oh, boy.
Boy, don't.
Okay.
Don't. You know what? She's a beautiful girl.
She was great.
Yeah.
She was great.
She's a
That's
beautiful
very
girl,
nice.
T, but
Yes.
she's 15.
I said that all fucking night.
I'm just saying. You do not.
No.
Look. What,
I mean,
you're cage
I'm
rattling right
flattered.
now, Forey. What you're doing is you're going up to a cage
Nope.
with a gigundous bear in it,
For
and you've got your daughter
you're
sticking
fine.
her arm through the cage.
For
Your
you're
daughter is
fine.
sticking her arm through the cage
Nope.
and shaking it a bit.
Nope.
I'm just telling you.
Nope. Lovely lady.
And he can
Very
play the
nice to
long
meet
game.
her.
He can wait till she's 18. He can
might.
long game it. And this is where you don't rattle the bear's cage, okay?
okay.
Look at it said, by the way, 3 to 300. As if there would be, we brought
At
5
this point,
members.
we might bring 3 members.
Yeah,
that might be all
we
we
got
could
3
get
right
there.
here.
In the game.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he meant.
Let Troy, my daughter Izzy said he was handsome.
Is her daughter named after a dog?
I guess that makes us chopped liver. Yes, Forey, your daughter should think of you as chopped liver.
Always
Right.
will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have daughters.
The fact that I'm chopped liver is bullshit. I've lost some weight. I would have thought she would have at least taken a second glance at me. Guess not. It's all about T-Roy. I thought it was a little weird. She was like, "Where's T-Roy? I want to meet T-Roy. I want a picture with T-Roy."
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
She was sweet. It was nice to meet her.
Last but not least, when you get the time, can you send a picture of your furry BFF to my daughter and add to her pictures from Saturday night? That would make her day. Oh, so he wants me emailing his daughter pictures of Cece.
Is he? Just give me your number. I'll send the picture over.
Sincerely, Forey. My daughter's email is.
Oh my goodness!
wow.
Jesus fucking Christ. He doesn't know
T-Roy
us
is
at all.
hot69 at Hotmail.
What was that email again?
Her email is troyleavemydaughteralone@gmail.com.
No worries,
And again,
sir.
thank you, brother. Reach out anytime when you'd like to break bread. Hope to see you soon. Have a great day. Forey, you're going to see us Thursday.
Is that where it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that's where it was.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I reached out to Matt, who was the Republican.
Yep.
Hold
Matt
on,
Marco.
hold on. Matt Marco, exactly.
Look at me.
North Oakland Republican Club, and we are actually bringing the one, the only, the very talented and beautiful Amy Zempel with us. So Troy and I and Amy Zempel will be there Thursday night in the hopes of
Hear that, Izzy?
gaining something, hopefully gaining some access to Tudor Dixon,
Yeah.
who we want to interview.
Right.
So
I mean, Amy's another elected official.
well,
She
that's
is.
why,
Exactly.
that's why I reached out to her. That's
Yeah.
exactly
Exactly right.
why. I said, hey, man, these are the circles you're trying to run in. You know, why don't you come with us?
Mm-hmm.
And she's a no bullshit chick. She'd fit right in with Tudor Dixon.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine Amy Zempel and Tudor Dixon hanging
We're supposed
out?
to meet Shane Hernandez, right? The lieutenant governor
Yes.
elect or pro
Yeah.
bono or whatever you call it.
Yes.
Running for.
So I don't know if the same model is on the table where we eat for free at this fine establishment. I'm thinking that's the way this goes, but I don't know
Corey,
for sure.
that's a slippery slope. I would be very careful with that. We'll be
Oh, I'd be more careful
4
with
nights a week.
tossing your daughter's email address to Troy. That's what I'd be more careful with. Me getting
listen,
a free meal here and there.
the only reason I don't have the number is because Forey is so old school. We were talking about stuff. He was like, he was throwing out all kinds of going fishing in the dad's boat and all this kind of stuff. And he was like, hey man, if you ever want to go, shoot me an email. How the fuck do you even do that? I don't.
Yeah.
Like, can't
He
give
said
me a
that or you
number?
said that?
No, he did.
Yeah.
He was like, shoot me an email. I was like,
You don't have a cell phone?
okay. I was going to give you my number, but we'll do the email instead. I
Yeah.
guess.
Awesome. Love doing email. Big fan of the email.
Big fan.
So anyway.
Excellent. Yeah, tomorrow's will be an exciting night.
Yeah, it should be good. I hope so. But hopefully Forey hears this before tomorrow night and can be expecting us.
Yeah.
So I'll email him.
And invites Izzy.
And invites Izzy. Yes, we'll get Izzy there. Her friend was beautiful too.
All right, double
just
date.
Saying,
There
just
you go.
saying. Dude, we can't talk
In
about
3
15-year-olds.
years, double date.
In 3 years, 4 years, 5 years.
What?
Double date.
Mike, are you going to be around 5 years?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
But if by some miracle
If you happen to die, I'll take care of them both.
What a gracious, how gracious.
he
of
didn't
you.
invite you, E.
I know, right? I'm just
He'd
sitting
handle
over
it on
here.
his own.
right. If you die,
Listen, me twice is better than
Oh, Troy's so handsome. I can just see it now. That Troy was so handsome. Fuck. No, he's not. He's not handsome.
I mean, a little.
Little handsome. It's the blue eyes, dude. They sparkle across rooms is the problem. But get out of here. Goddamn. He's as sexy as the hot felon.
Oh, boy.
All right, let's call it a day there, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. I know we went long on Fetterman, but we couldn't help it. It
Yeah,
was
sometimes
too-
that happens.
Sometimes that happens. It just does. I was worried we went too long on the Twitter letter yesterday, and I got messages from people today that thought that was fucking hilarious.
Okay, good.
And I'm like, okay, good. We didn't go too long. It's
Sometimes
like,
you can deep dive on stuff.
Yeah.
And the reality is that nobody watched that.
No. Nobody would have had access
And so,
to it, really.
right. I mean, you have to search it out to go get it. So
Yeah.
maybe now people will actually. And if anybody watched those 2 clips, probably wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
You know,
Didn't
3
do it a ton
actually
of
with the whole
justice.
hi, good night.
right.
Hi, good night, everybody.
Right? That should be our new sign off. All right. Hi, good night, everybody.
That's your beginning. That's how you start shows.
Yeah.
Hello, good night.
No,
And
no,
then
we're going to do it proper.
well, then you're just doing it normal.
Yeah.
Well, we
So
started
how do
with
we
a high.
how do we end the show? Hi, good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah, okay. I get what you're saying.
With that, we'll call it a day. We will be back tomorrow. Isis, are you going to be here tomorrow?
I don't think so.
No. What do you got going on?
I'm doing some comedy in Walled Lake.
Okay. All right.
Trying to make sure I don't get too cold.
Well,
while
Troy and
I'm
I
back
care
home.
about this show, so we'll be here.
He's a part-timer anyway. He's leaving.
I know. He is a total part.
I've got to keep the chops going, Mike.
Yeah, you got to keep the chops. That's all right. It's going to be a long 5 weeks without you. But we'll
Not for
welcome you
all,
back.
But
We'll welcome you back if you want to come back and hang with us.
I will be back.
All right, good. All right, everybody, have a great rest of the day. We will do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then.